Hello, once again, it's Irene in here. Now I'm going to bring you another demo, which I think it's going to be a short one. I don't know yet. And the name of the game is My Wife is a Spy. Kind of like, is it or not? We don't know. Um, and yeah, you are going to feel like the frame is kind of a bit awkward, but that's because I was having a really hard time to actually even put it as you are seeing it. Yeah. Some games, I don't know if it has to do with the software. When it comes to streaming, it's a hassle, okay? Or you need to capture the frame or the window, or you need to go through via the Steam overlay, whatever. And this one was kind of like, okay, it was kind of hard for me to even put it as you are seeing it. I know it feels like it's not positioned in the correct way, but the thing is, the game in itself has those lines on top and around the frame. They do have like the black screen around, so yeah, that's why you're kind of like feeling like it's awkward. Yeah. So this is from developer Transparent Games. Yeah. This is one of those words that I'm going to actually say in a really strange way sometimes to you, the transparent. Yeah. And why is it? Because we also have this word in my language and we put the emphasis of the accent in the syllables in another way. Okay, so yeah, sometimes this word, the transparent one, is going to come out in a really awkward way because we say transparent. It sounds more like transparent. We don't say it like you like transparent. We say like transparent. So if you like hear me saying like this word sometimes like in another way, do not mind it. It's because it's one of those words that are very alike the word that we have, that it means exactly the same, and I'm going to actually put the accent in what I'm used to, okay, where I'm used to, so do not mind it. But yeah, developer Transparent Games, and this is a title that it's still yet to be announced, so we only have the demo, and it says like, life was never fair, not before the accident, and certainly not after. You expected magic, adventure, maybe a crown. Instead, you awaken in a foreign body. Oh, is this an isekai one? Okay. Instead, you awaken in a foreign body, forced into an arranged marriage with Zachary, the cold and distant Duke of the North. Born to the sunlit luxury of the South, you are sent to a frozen, war-torn land plagued by monsters, famine, and unrest. Your new husband is a man of duty, not affection, bound by loyalty to a crumbling crown and now bound to you. But even pawns can learn to move. Will you earn Zachary's trust and fight beside him to save his people? Or size your own size your, yeah, I think it is size your own fate, because you have like C's and size or size your own. If I'm saying it the wrong way, do not mind it, as I usually say. Your own fate rises a villainess. So this is a villainous one, okay, and bring the North under your heel. What will you become in a world where loyalty is dangerous and love might just be the ultimate betrayal? Oh my god. Yeah, is this just a one love interest kind of thing? I don't know. Let me try to see it. Oh, like, okay. This might actually be kind of like different from what we are used to. Oh my god, is this going to be like one like the other one where I'm just going to get bad endings? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't like that. Let's just see how this is going to work. Oh my god. Okay. Let's go to the game, okay? So, stato. So our name is Ava. So, trigger warning, this visual novel deals with themes of heavy family abuse. It gives hope that a person can move on from the years of pain if they leave a toxic environment and find a good circle of people who support them. Okay, almost home. The gentle wind sways the canopies of trees as I walk through my neighborhood. The soft breeze and the pleasantly warm June evening weather put me in a good mood. My heart fills with blooming joy as I look around the area. I take in the sights of the neighborhood where I grew up, the familiar houses, the new and old cars, the stray soccer ball left behind by children. So is this person living in our everyday life, kinda, you know? Because I'm looking at her shirt and it's like, it feels like from another time. I don't know. It's the design, whatever. The fashion, you know. Just one more month until I finally leave this place behind and move out of my parents' house. All I need is the first paycheck from the job I land today, and I can start looking for my own apartment closer to the city center. I hum a happy tune, my steps light. Today I had a job interview for the position of a business analyst at a prestigious corporation. All of my efforts spent learning math and economics at college has finally paid off. Only half a year after graduation, and I already have the dream job I've always wanted. Half a year filled with even more belittling from my parents than usual. Telling me that I'll pick the wrong course of studies, that I would have been better off not going to school at all instead of pursuing economics. Insisting that with my shyness and fear of people, I'll never be able to impress anybody during a job interview. Let me tell you something, like, I don't know where she is, how it is, but in here, if you go to business school or economics, you basically have a life, okay? Yeah, because they like accountants and all of it, like, there's a real need of that in here because no one wants to go to that. We are not so much into mathematics, okay? We don't actually like it that much. So if you went to the business school, girl, and economics and all of it, I would say, like, yeah, you are fine. You are fine. You just shouldn't go to a course like I went, you know, to major one like I went, because that gives you like nothing. Saying that I'll end up living with them until I grew old and insisting I should be grateful for it because I would never survive without them. I take a deep breath, then release it. I'm glad the years of suffering my father's and mother's pointed words will soon come to an end. Maybe, just maybe, they'll be happy that I landed my new job. Perhaps now that I've proven myself capable of starting my career after studying so hard, things will change for the better between us. After all, I impressed the interviewers so much that I landed the position immediately after the interview. They called me with a job offer when I was on the subway returning home. I'm sure my parents will appreciate that I'm finally becoming independent. With renewed hope, I open the door to our home. The delicious smell of well-cooked steak wafts in the air. You are late, dinner's getting cold. Mother glares at me from the dining table. Father sits opposite her, looking at his phone. The table is set for dinner and they are already eating. They didn't wait for me to get back home. Sit down immediately and eat. You don't want your mother's cooking to go to waste. Right. I take a seat and taste a half-cold steak in front of me. How's work been today, dear? Should I even ask? I'm sure you screwed something up once again. Did you insult a client during a presentation? Ruin important documents? Delete a file with crucial data? Huh? Why would you assume I can't do my job properly? Because you're a useless husband, I can't imagine you doing anything right, and you've made all of those mistakes before. That doesn't mean I'll repeat them. I'm not as absent-minded as you are. My parents are going at it again, arguing. I've experienced little love from them all my life. No warmth, no support. They hate each other just as much as they detest me. That's the way our family has always been. That's why I want to move out of as soon as possible. That's why I'm striving to have a proper career so I can support myself and get away from them. You're not any better than me. You can't even wash the dishes without breaking a plate. I'm sure you suck at your job just as much as you suck at managing the household. How dare you? If you hate the way I keep the house so much, then don't eat the food I make, you ungrateful pig. I at least deserve to eat a good meal after all the hard work I do to bring home the money that keeps this family fed. The meager money you bring in from your job barely manages that much, especially with Ava leeching off of us and being unemployed. I curl my clammy hands on my knees, my fingernails biting into my palms. My lip quivers when I speak up. With my parents' focus suddenly on me, now's my chance to tell them that I just got my dream job. Still, their attention fills my heart to the brim with fear. These emotions are nothing new. I've dealt with them all my life, but I can never get used to the feeling of being so small, so inadequate. I'm small, of course, and I do amount to almost nothing. No, wait, that can be entirely true since I did land my dream job after all. The fact that I'm finally making a future for myself should change the way my parents see me. Not yet. I would be the person that I would prefer to stay quiet, get results, and then show them that I was able to do it, but like each person different, but for the type of parents that they are, I think it would be better like that. Like, let them continue thinking that I am this imbecile or whatever, and after I actually got a job and things are running and going on, maybe I'll say something. You don't have anything to say? Weren't you going on and on the other day about how you want to become a business analyst? Yeah, business analyst. It would be really good in here. Girl, you can come in here, okay? We kind of need those in here. What a joke. You can't even get a word out in front of us, your own family? You think you'll manage to present your ideas in front of a whole group of people regularly, advising them on how to make a project a success? When you yourself suck at communication and clearly need to improve your skills so much. Please stop. You think anybody's going to hear you when you mumble under your breath like that? Speak up. I got the position of a business analyst at a good corporation. Ridiculous. I hope your new employer will quickly figure out how unfit for the role you really are. Tears well up in my eyes. Nothing has changed. Even though I now have my dream job in the eyes of my parents, I'm still as useless as ever. I open my mouth again to tell them I'm going to move out soon, so I hesitate. What if I really can't do my job properly and the company lets me go after the first month? Would I have to then return to this house with my tail between my legs? I actually think like the font size is kind of like, okay, it's okay. You can change it. You can change the font to this one, but I think it's actually, although it's a serif one, it's readable. This type is more readable within the serif ones. It's readable, and I needed a bit more opacity in this text box. probably just more like that, yeah. Tremors coursed through my whole body, fear gnawing at me from the inside out. I told you to just get a job as a shop clerk at the local grocery store. I already went there and asked if they would give you the position. That's the only kind of job someone as useless as you can do. Being a cashier or a cleaner is good for you. Business analyst, my ass. We always said studying economics and finance wasn't right for you. You won't do well on the job. The tears overflow and my vision blurs. No. I can't take this anymore. Ava, you haven't finished your dinner. My mother yells at me when I get up, but I can't hear anything my parents say anymore. I can't see a thing through my tears. I can't hear a word through the noise in my ears. I run out of the house, the door slamming behind me. I don't look where I'm going, heading straight into the street. I just want to get away, as far away from the pain and toxicity of my parents as I can go. The loud screech of a car coming to a halt sounds from my right. A delivery van coming straight at me. No! I quickly judge the distance back to the pavement or to the other side of the road. I decide to step back, move ahead. Let's step back, maybe. I turn around to run back to the sidewalk. I only take a few steps before a devastating force hits my body. I fly in the air, and the distance fell so far, finally my body hits the pavement. Ah! I experienced the worst agony I've ever felt in my life. No abusive words from my parents compared to the searing pain of my body being destroyed under the weight of the car. I cough up blood, I hear screams around me. Someone's grabbing my leg, trying to get me out from under the van. There's loud ringing in my ears and blackness fills my vision. Slowly the pain fades. When I come to my senses again, I don't feel any pain anymore. I look down at my body. It's not crushed, deformed, or in any way destroyed, but it's translucent. Around me is pure whiteness, blindingly bright, but instead of my eyes hurting, the side of the place feels serene and comforting. Hello? My voice echoes loudly in the emptiness around me. Slowly I realize what's going on. I died. I ran into the road, driven by emotions, and got run over by a delivery van. A small laugh escapes my lips. In the end, I really did amount to nothing. I died such a pathetic death, stemming from my own stupidity. Serves me right. Disappointment and regret fills my heart. I had just landed my dream job. I was ready to get out of the abusive environment of my parents' home. I would have finally been able to live my life the way I wanted, to prove my worth to my mother and father and to myself, to build a life of my own. Great. This sucks so much. I want to go back. I want to live my life. But going back to the life I've lived is no longer a possibility, is it? I had died and gone to heaven? Is that what this place is? Wind blows behind me, a heavy draft interrupting the stillness of the air. I spin on my translucent heel in the direction of the blast and see a red door? In the white emptiness, the red door is very pronounced. I feel a pull towards the entrance. The door beckons to me, dares me to come closer. It's not like there's anything else to do around here. I move towards the door, my steps entirely silent. I only stop when I'm in front of the entrance to where? My hand hovers over the handle. Should I open the door? A shiver runs up my spine. I feel watched. Someone's behind me, staring at my every move. I turn around quickly, but nobody's there, only the vast bay of whiteness. If you want to go back to your world, you must complete your mission. Who are you? Who's there? Fear rises in my heart, but even though I call for the person behind the voice, there's no reply. My mission? What's my mission? Am I not dead? What more is there to do? The door behind me yawns open. I face the entrance. The inside of the door is glowing with warm pink light, inviting me forward. Strange. Curiosity pulls me towards the entrance. I want to go through. I want to see what's on the other side. My life can't end like this. I want to see what the mission is so I can go back to my world. I need to live my life more. My resolve clear, I step through the red door. Where is that good-for-nothing daughter? We're done with dinner. How can the child be so rude as to be late? We've already eaten everything, even the celebratory lobster. What does it matter if she's late? If she doesn't want to eat, she can starve for all I care. Who are these people? Where am I? Pink hair, clothes that would belong to at a Renaissance fair, foreign food. There you are, Sophia. Sophia? Who's that? What are you staring at like a dumb lamb child? Come to it now, have you? I'm Sophia, child. Who is this man to me? I look down at myself and see long pink hair. I'm also wearing an outfit that wouldn't be out of place at the Renaissance fair. My skin is slightly darker than my usual color. I take a step forward and stumble. I seem taller now and something binds my middle, constricting my breathing. Is this a corset? I pinch myself, but I don't wake up. The pain is real. The situation is real. Sofia Dali Carceri. Sofia Dali Carceri. Quit staring at us like you are seeing us for the first time. It's unsettling. If you want to eat something, there are still some leftovers. The woman gestures to the table. My gaze wanders over the lobster shells, eaten clean. There's nothing else to eat except for maybe the berries. The berries which the younger woman is currently snacking on. Do they think I'm a dog that I will lick their plates clean? Listen to your mother, Sophia. What's going on with you today? My sister has always been strange. This is nothing new. Sofia Dali Carceri, the strange name rings a bell. On my way back from the job interview, I read a webcomic where a person by this name was one of the side characters. Okay, I see it, yeah. Because I was trying to figure out where we would be isekai'd to. Okay, so I see it. The girl had long pink hair, much like I do now. She wasn't anybody significant in the story, just a shy girl who followed the main heroine around as part of her entourage. But that was just a story, and the situation I'm in right now feels very real. I couldn't have been reincarnated, right? That's not possible. I did die though, and now I'm very much alive, only I'm not myself anymore. Sophia. Yes, that's your name, you stupid oaf. What in the world is going on with you? The man speaking must be Sophia's father. He once cited the male lead of the webcomic. He is known for his mean personality, Count Elio Dale Carceri. Elio, okay. I grab the edge of the chair as the world spins in front of me. I'm overwhelmed by the new situation. I'm not feeling very well. See, she's not fit for the mission you want to send her on. And what do you think I'm supposed to do about it? She's going anyway. Sophia's always been useless. Finally, she'll be able to do something helpful for this family. Sophia's mother and father no longer pay attention to me, arguing amongst themselves. The younger woman continues to eat berries, unbothered by the scene the Count and Countess are making. She watches me with a loathing gaze that freezes the blood in my veins. What's her deal? Are you excited about finally amounting to something, sister? So she's Sophia's sister, Bianca, a memory supplies. It says, I don't know what everyone's talking about. They'll reveal all to you in due time. They had to pick you, not me. I wanted to prove myself to father, but it had to be you. I have no idea what she's talking about. The Count and Countess continue arguing, their voices getting louder and louder. Why are you taking more and more loans? Are you insane? Soon our situation will improve tremendously, and then we'll be completely out of debt. Was the lobster we ate today bought with the latest sum of money you borrowed from the crown? Of course it was, but worry not, my beautiful wife. Soon our family will get the honor and riches we deserve. His gaze lands on me again. All thanks to Sophia. Now, child, make yourself scarce, and because you dare to miss our special dinner, you will receive only servant food for the next 3 days. You're also confined to your room. What? Why? Dominic, escort Sophia to her room. Lady Sophia. The butler gestures to the door. I take one last look at Sophia's family before I stumble out of the room. The man grabs my shoulder, but I have no delusion that the gesture is to support me. He yanks me along the corridor in a rough fashion before more or less throwing me into a room. When the room is locked, I collapse on the soft bed. Memories of Sophia's life begin to flood my mind, of her relationship with her parents, of her life as a gambling countess' daughter. Is this situation for real? Sophia's parents are just as abusive as mine, not caring if she misses meals, calling her names, controlling every aspect of her life. Confinement and starvation are clearly their favorite means of enforcing discipline in their daughters. Or rather in Sophia, since Bianca, Sophia's sister, is their golden child who they barely ever felt the need to discipline. Why did I have to go from one toxic family to another? I don't want to live through abuse, not again. What choice do I have, though? If I'm a noble daughter now, my only way out of this place is through marriage. I just hope my husband won't be an old, disgusting geezer. If I want to return to my world, I need to fulfill my mission. That was what the strange voice said, so what is my purpose here? Sophia's parents mention a mission too. I have no doubt I ended up in the body of Sophia for a reason. The grumbling of my stomach interrupts my racing thoughts. The body of Sophia, my body now, difficult as it is to think about, is hungry. Maybe it would have been better if I'd eaten the leftovers. No, I just have to wait for the servants to deliver my meal. I wonder if the Count will come to tell me what the conversation at the table was about. Actually, you can do like with the how do you say, like carcasses? You say like, right? The carcasses of the lobster. You can actually produce a really good soup with that, you know. Yeah, it's true though. But I mean, yeah, they already eaten the thing and all of it. So later that evening, the door opens and a maid puts a tray with soup on the ground before hastily closing the door again. Soup seems like a nice offering. Either the Count changes his order about my food or the servants have taken pity on me. At least that's what I think at first. Yeah, maybe it's the soup from the carcass of the lobster that I was telling you about. I pick up the tray and set it on the desk, sitting down to it. One look into the bowl, however, shows me that this soup is just the most watered down broth I've ever seen. Even so, I put a spoonful in my mouth and eat. I'm too hungry to worry about the quality of the food. Even this tasteless soup is better than nothing. The next day goes by as I struggle to keep myself busy in my confinement. I explore the environment of Sophia's room, trying to get to know her thoughts, to get her through. To get her to know her through the items that she holds close to heart. I quickly discover that other than the brooch she kept attached to her day dress, she has little in terms of jewelry. Her father was likely gambled all the family jewels away. A tall bookshelf stretched all the way from the floor to ceiling, suggesting Sophia liked reading. The books are all on Empire history with little in terms of entertainment, so I put them aside. On the nightstand are a pen and paper, but the desk drawers house little in terms of finished letters or documents. I also try my best to find a diary, but to no avail. I do, however, find a small closet chest. Warmth spreads in my heart as Sophia's memory of the person who gave her the item comes to mind. Chiara, the saintess. Sophia was part of her entourage during her stays in the capital. Judging from Sophia's reaction, she holds the saintess in high regard. I fish under the mattress, finding a small key, and open the chest. So we do have letters. Okay. Inside is an array of letters with expressive, chaotic handwriting. Chiara's handwriting is much like her personality, always in a rush to do one thing or another with little regard for inner peace. The opposite of what you would think a saintess would be. Looking through the letters, I witnessed the evidence of a friendship between Sophia and Chiara. At the same time, I'm doing my best to remember the original story of the webcomic. The comic centers around Saintess Chiara as she heals the poor and rich alike with her holy magic powers. She is also a skilled alchemist who invents many potions which help improve health in the Empire. Chiara falls in love with Luca, the crown prince, but she also has other love interests in the story. Her knight Antonio, who follows her around like a puppy, and the Duke of the North, Zachary. It is an Otome isekai webcomic like many others I've read, nothing particularly original, but I enjoyed the familiar premise. Sofia dalle Carcere is a friend of Chiara, but she plays no significant role in the story beyond being a background character. She is shy and doesn't speak much. But it seems Chiara holds Sophia dear regardless of her shortcomings. Oh, how I wish I could have such a friend. I've never grown close to anybody on earth. I become even more curious about what mission Sophia, I, am supposed to fulfill. Since Sophia is nobody significant, what can she change in the story? I get my answers from the Count that evening. He walks into Sophia's room like he owns the place, and his daughter too, for the matter. Considering the south of the empire is based on Renaissance Italy, this dynamic between a noble father and his daughter isn't that surprising. I get up from my seat at the desk to curtsy to the Count, much like Sophia's memory tells me to do. The curtsy comes out clumsy, and Sophia's father frowns deepens. Did you enjoy your meal? No matter. Listen closely, child. You know our family is in debt, caused by Count Ilius' secret addition to gambling. Our family needs to get closer to the Emperor. I need to win His Majesty's favor. I know of a way to make all of our financial troubles go away. Maybe I'll even be elevated to the position of Duke. Is Sophia's father delusional? I raise my eyebrows. One would need to do something hugely significant for such a change to happen. You will help me achieve the true happiness for this family. How so? You are a noble daughter of eligible age. You are in your prime to marry together with the emperor. You've made a good match. We've made a good match for you. You will marry Zachary Colville, the Duke of the North. I blink once, then twice. The image of the cold Duke of the North, the archetype of all dukes from webcomics, comes to mind. Dark hair, eyes like ice, a tall athletic body honed by years of fighting with a sword. I could have landed a worse match in terms of looks, however. I'm sure you're aware of what a great match this is for you. You will become the Duchess of the North. The duchy controls much of the northern lands of the empire. Although poor due to the limited ability to produce food and the need to rely on imports of grain and vegetables from the central part of the empire. The North has a strong military to ward off the monstrous attacks from the lands even further north. I wonder how the duchy wants to deal with their food problem. Right now, they are importing food from the empire. If they rebel against the crown, will they import from allies who represent the empire instead? Do they have such allies? And that's the problem your marriage will solve. The emperor told me Duke Zachary is using his strong military to prepare a rebellion with the purpose of making the duchy independent. Memories from the webcomic come to mind. Duke Zachary does indeed launch a rebellion in the book, prematurely as results later show. The rebellion fails. In fact, many lives were lost in the fighting, and the duchy ends up even poorer as a result after the emperor imposes large taxes on every aspect of their daily needs as punishment. But what does any of these have to do with me? That's why you've been arranged to marry Duke Zachary and spy on him for us. Spy? Yes, you will find out the Duke's secrets and send every ounce of useful information you find to me. Correspondence with any foreign allies the Duke might have, trade agreements with them, names of dignitaries that are on his side, account books. When we have enough information to prosecute the Duke and have him beheaded, you will become a rich widow. I will have my debts paid by the crown, and we'll all live life in peace and happiness. So he has all figured out already, the whole scheme. Do you really think I'm skilled enough to spy on a Duke, Father? You're a beautiful woman, Sophia. You grew up well. All you need to do is seduce the Duke. You'll wrap him around your little finger in no time. That's... No, actually, I understand his plan. I do. So, like, I'm not sure this is a sensible... It is not a sensible one, but I do understand his plan. It's just... Okay, I mean, she would probably say something like this, unless she was really submissive. I don't know what type of person she is. I just don't know what is going to come out from here if we say this. Let's see. I'm not really sure this is a sensible plan. I'm not a great candidate to seduce the Duke. Why doesn't Bianca go? She's much more outspoken and charismatic than myself. She has a circle of guys that adore her. As you know, Bianca is engaged and will be married in half a year. Breaking her engagement would raise suspicion. Zachary Colville will suspect the person we send of being a spy. So while Bianca is obviously more skilled at seduction than you are, we need to send someone who seems too naive to be a spy. Yeah, I don't know if you would say Colville, but I think it sounds better if I just say vile. You would probably say Ville, because vile is just with one L. So, yeah, Colville, right? But it sounds so much more cooler if you say Colville. think so. I guess that makes sense, even though I'd still rather it was Bianca who was sent. However, I do want to get out of this abusive household. Duke Zachary may not trust me from the get-go, but in the webcomic, he's good to Kiara, the protagonist. Perhaps we'll even grow to like each other, but I would end up being the cause of Zachary's demise. It's not like I have a choice in the matter, though. I'll do my best, Father. Of course you will, my dear Sophia. So, and who is going to actually be, taking a look at us, to what we are doing? Who is going to be that person? Because like, you can totally just say, sure, I will do my duty, but you won't actually do your duty. So I'm like, who is going to keep an eye on us, My life has always lacked choices. When I did finally make a choice and pursued my dream job, all I got was an abrupt and painful death. No, I can't give up. For the time being, I have to comply with Father's plan. Once I'm in Duke Zachary's castle, I will figure out what I want and what I can do. Here. Father takes out a small pocket mirror and hands it to me. This is a communication device. The mirror has been enchanted so we can use it to converse with each other over long distances. This is how you will give me the information I seek without anybody finding out that you're spying for the Empire. Because, we could totally just be on our husband's sides and giving wrong information to our father and the Empire. We could be like that. I look at the unassuming artifact. There's nothing special about the mirror. If it's as important as the Count says, that's a good thing. If nobody knows this item is an artifact, they won't take the mirror away from me. To activate it, just speak my name. I have a matching artifact. Understood. You're much calmer about the situation than I thought you would be. Good. The daughter of Elio Dale Carceri has to carry out her duty with dignity. I'm far from calm. I'm just stunned by all the new revelations in my life. I also know how to pick my battles. I cannot disobey a Renaissance count who is apparently my father. But whatever happens later, when I'm finally away from his grasp, that's another story. That's what I was saying, girl. That's what I was saying. But I don't know if he's going to leave us I don't know if he's going to give us that type of freedom, or someone is going to be watching us. I don't know. However, I have to keep in mind that this mission must be the one the voice spoke about. So if I want to return to my world, I'll have to fulfill my quest. We don't know about that. The voice never told us what was the mission, right? So we do not know if the mission consists in doing the mission our father wants us to do. So my life keeps getting harder and harder by the minute. I should probably just do a freaking save in here. Where is the save? Isn't it? Because, I am bad with this. I always forget. 2 weeks later, I'm traveling in a carriage to the north to marry my new husband. I finally reached the northern lands, much of which is covered by forests. We see villages too as we pass by, but they are few and far in between. I glance out the window curiously, taking in the sights of different architecture and people clad in leathers and fur on the streets. My heart breaks as I start to understand what the north is like. The buildings are in dire need of repairs, their roofs caving in, plaster coming off the walls, the cobblestones on the streets are broken, which makes the carriage jostle often. It's like none of the villagers care about keeping their home in good condition. No, that assumption isn't quite right. The issue is that the people's most pressing needs aren't being met, so they don't have the energy to maintain anything else around them. When my eyes see the citizens of the duchy in such dire states, um, my heart breaks. They look so thin, disappearing under the thick fur coats they wear. Their clothes are in the same need of repair as their homes. They don't smile at all, clearly going about their daily routines without much heart. Hunger, despair, these are the emotions that can make a person so hollow. The North is barely hanging on. The North has always been oppressed by the South. During the story of the webcomic, Zachary decides he's done enough preparations for the rebellion and finally launches his attack. Like many of the webcomics readers, I rooted for Zachary to become the main male love interest for Kiara and for the rebellion to succeed, but I've read many webcomics that started out well and ended not quite as the readers wanted. Not true. The story seemed to be going in just such a disappointing direction. At the last part I'll read, I hadn't finished the webcomic yet. I'll only looked up spoilers to see whom Kiara would end up choosing. Yeah, my thing with like the webcomics, the manga, especially, is that at least when I'm reading, and it's not all the time that you can get like from the sources. It's very hard sometimes to get it from the sources. In Japan, I mean. And the thing is, I think most of the time is just you have trends. For instance, this thing of the villainess and the isekai, and like you have like these trends going on. And then you reach a point where you kind of like feel like you are reading the same type of webcomic as the other one that you just read. You know, and it kind of like just goes like that and like that and like that and like that, and you reach a point. I reach a point where I'm like, I just put it aside. I'm like, I don't want it anymore. You know, it's just there's a lot of trying to copy the other person's story kind of thing. Don't you feel that? I feel that a ton, like a ton. Yeah, sometimes you get something that it's original, but most of the time it's more like, yeah, let's just do kind of like the same as Jujutsu Kaisen or One Piece or whatever. I'm just like saying some titles in here. Like you have a lot of these of like just like kind of like copying and copying and copying, and only when you kind of like find like a precious stone jewel of an original piece that you kind of like feel, okay, like this is different. Yeah, this is, at least this one is like different. And actually I think like the last one that I read, and it was a long time ago, the last one that I read, and I actually found to be like kind of like a jewel to me, because I was like, okay, this one is different, is one that in this season they turned into anime, which is like the supermarket one, where they are smoking at the supermarket. Yeah, that one. I was like, okay, this one is different from what. And it's always when I kind of like get like that, I'm like, okay, now I'm kind of like satisfied. I finally found something that was different. Yeah, but there's a lot of like, I don't know, most of like the same, you know, they hold their own originality, but it's just a lot of copying in there, you know, so it's whatever. However, now this is somewhat badly constructed fantasy world is my reality. And the plight of the people of the North is very much real. The people want to split from the empire to lead their lives without huge taxes. They already have enough problems with monsters advancing on the homes of the citizens, and Zachary and his army having to stop the attacks. All of these concerns are part of my situation now too. No matter what happens though, rebellion or no rebellion, I know I don't want to go back to the Dalle Carceri mansion. I can only look ahead. After 10 long days of travel, the carriage stops in front of a castle. The door opens and a man, possibly the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life, with dark hair curling around his ears and sharp light blue eyes, extends a hand to me. There's a smirk on his face when he looks me up and down. Welcome to the cold north, my lady. His words are grating, but at the same time they feel cold. There's nothing else I can do, though, than put my hand in his. I'm a pawn to be married to Duke Zachary, but at the same time I have hope that my life in this castle won't be so bad. Thank you, Your Grace. I'm tempted to overwrite the because now we are going to talk with him, so I better put somewhere in here. And I don't think you can save during the choices for what I saw. Yeah, I don't think so. Unload the lady's luggage. Yes, my lord. Servants move around efficiently. Duke Zachary and I stand in front of each other. He looks at me with a cold, closed-off expression. Is he finally realizing that I am a real person and that he's really going to get married to me soon? Welcome to the castle of Duke Zachary Colville. I think it's Colville. But I was like, I have so much fun saying it Colville. Like it's vile. It's cold and vile. But I think the right way to say is Colville. Future Duchess. I hope you'll find your new home suitable for someone of your standing. I look at the man who approaches me and Zachary. Thank you. This is my advisor, Otis Havrin. Okay, he's my right hand and closest confidant. So he's a person I should be wary of, as he's completely on my future husband's side. If I'm supposed to spy on the Duke, I will have to be mindful to avoid Otis' suspicion as well. I'll need to gain some allies in the castle. It would be best to get the Duke and Otis on my side eventually somehow. But that's a long-term project. In the meantime, I hope I can find some neutral parties open to supporting me. Pleased to meet you. I'll be in your care, Your Grace, as I adjust to my new life here. Yes, that's right. You will need some time to get used to your new surroundings. I hope you start feeling at home in the castle quickly. Why is he smirking so much while saying words that are meant to be welcoming to me? This is so confusing. You will be married in the town church in 3 days. Tomorrow's the preparation for your wedding will start, my lady. Make sure you rest well today. The South doesn't see our marriage as something sacred. They wouldn't care if I just sent them a certificate without a proper ceremony. However, I am going ahead with the wedding anyway. Oh, thank you, Your Grace. That's actually very thoughtful of Zachary. I know he's opposed to our marriage, but at least he's honoring me like a true duchess. Let's move inside the castle. I'm sure the lady is tired from her long journey north. I have to admit that I would love some rest. We will show you to your room then. When we enter the castle proper, I am in awe of the spacious great hall with a much different architecture and decor than Sophia's father's mansion in the south. One would think a castle so big and made of sturdier materials than the south sandstone would be unwelcoming. But the sculptures and banners that fill out the nooks and crannies make the atmosphere of the hall grand, but not unpleasant. There's a lot to look at here. The place has been decorated with care. My lady, you forgot your coat. Oh, I'm taken out of my thoughts by the sight of a girl with long, curly, dark hair running down the stairs while a distraught maid follows right after her, carrying an expensive fur coat. I don't need a coat. They're already inside, see? I want to see what my brother's new wife is like. It's cold in the hall too. You'll get sick, my lady. I won't. Zachary lets out an annoyed huff. The girl jumps down the last steps and stops in front of us. Oh, Bridget. Hello, I'm Zachary's sister, Bridget Colville. Pleased to meet you, Sofia Dalle Carceri. By the way, daughter of Count Dalle Carceri. Yeah, my Italian is very poor because I only have A1. What you can, I don't know if you have like these descriptions. We consider it to be A1. But I think Carceri is also related to being caged, but I'm not sure. I would have to actually Google about it. And I don't want to kind of, because I have this in, I had to put this in full screen, remember? So yeah, leave it. We'll watch it another time. But I think it might be related. Carceri, yeah, it's probably related to like being caged or something. Yeah. I make sure to introduce myself properly. Wow, you're so beautiful. What a pretty hair color. We don't have people with pink hair in the north. Is that a common hair color in the south? I wouldn't know, but my whole family has pink hair. Amazing. Don't you think she's gorgeous too, brother? This is the moment you're supposed to compliment your fiancé. How can you be so dense? I'm dense? Yes, you may not like that the Emperor has commanded you to marry, but why would you take out your frustration on this nice person? Bridget, I've told you not to meddle into politics. It's a topic that's far too complicated for you at your age. I'll be 16 soon, a legal adult. I fear that day. Yeah, like, we keep seeing this like in this way, but okay, during the old times, okay, this is like fantasy, whatever. But during the old times, you didn't need it to be 16. Like 16, you were really an adult by then. Because they would even marry after you, like, let me put it in this way. After you got the menstruation as a woman, you would be completely fine to be married. Yeah, so yeah, think about 11, 12 years old. And I'm talking about the times where you had like kings and all of it. Yeah, if you had your period, menstruation, you would be fit to already be married, okay? Because from that moment forward, you could give birth to children. So you would be considered already like someone that could be married, okay? Yeah, maybe you never thought about that, but it is true. It's part of history. I fear that day. You're so rude. He's been very mean to you. Has he not, Sophia? I wouldn't say that. It's the truth, but I can't admit it. Bridget may not be a player in the politics of this house, but I very much am. I envy her for being able to speak freely. So he was rude to you, Zachary, you meanie. Enough of this, Bridget. The lady is tired from her long journey. We were about to show her to her new quarters. Yeah, sure. I'll find you later, Sophia, so we can talk without this rude brother of mine around. All right. I should stop myself, but I can't help the bright smile that appears on my face. Bridget may be young, but she seems like a kind soul. I'm glad to have met someone so welcoming in the castle. Violetta, give me my coat now, please. I'm going out for a walk. Yes, my lady. Bridget puts on her coat and walks swiftly out of the hall and into the cold air of the courtyard. Zachary stares after her with a troubled expression, but then he shakes his head and gestures for us to continue up the stairs. We walk down a series of long hallways. How was your journey, my lady? The awkward silence is interrupted by Otis asking me a question. I wonder if he really cares, but doubt creeps up in my soul. He probably just wants to break the monotony of a quiet, long walk. Yeah, I have no idea how many people you can actually date in here, or if this is like just You can only date like the North guy, your husband, whatever. I don't know if it's like that. I have no idea, and I don't actually have that description on Steam, so I don't know. I don't know. I love the look of the duchy. Yeah, I mean, she did notice though. She did notice that it was poor in terms of maintenance. And this is why, like, for me, choosing sentences, it's always like that thing. Don't you feel like that? Like, you kind of feel like, I'm going to choose this, but I don't know what she's going to say. Kind of like. Because, like, imagine I'm just going to say, the duchy was poor. When it's like, it's not that the duchy was poor. It was the management of it that was not very well maintained. So sometimes I feel like, yeah, those are not exactly the words I would like actually use in here, because I'm going to put like a situation in here where I'm just going to be like, you know, arrogant, like, oh, it was poor. When it's not like that, it's more like, you know, I could even like start by saying, you know, I found the duchy to be very pretty, but the management was kind of poor. I noticed this and that. Maybe you could do like something about it, so like even your people would feel a bit more happy about it, you know? Like, I would put it more in that way, not just like, oh, I didn't like it, oh, I like it. You know, it's just like, okay, not being very sensible, you know? So I love the look of the do we want to appraise or do we want to be... I prefer to be sincere, but this is not exactly how I would put it, because I'm going to sound arrogant. Oh my god, okay. Let's see it. I notice how poor the duchy is, how thin and starved the people on the streets are. I know the country suffers from low food reserves in winter and has to import food stocks from the south at exorbitant prices. You must be mistaken, my lady. The condition of the duchy is not as poor as you say. Yeah, he didn't like it. I knew he was not going to like it. Because, yeah. Because it you know, it sounded like in a very arrogant way. And I didn't want it to sound like that. Otis gives me a disapproving look. Zachary glances my way, but his expression is inscrutable. Maybe I shouldn't have brought up politics so soon after arriving at the castle. Were they testing how perceptive I am to figure out how likely I might be to meddle in the Duchess's affairs? Well, this could be, you know, this was one of those where I would actually think like, you could have said like, oh, I really love it, the Duchy, and they could be suspicious too. They could be like, is she just trying to please us? So she really is trying to do something in here because she's just trying to please us, you know? So you never know if you should be honest or not, you know? Shoot, I feel like I just made a mistake. This is the room where you'll be staying. We arrive at the door and Otis opens it to reveal a spacious room with my suitcases already inside. I enter and spin around, taking in the sights of my new living quarters. Once again, I'm surprised by the cozy interior. I take off my cape and gloves, laying them down on one of the chairs. We will leave you to rest today. The maid that's assigned to serve you will come soon. If you need anything, let her know. I nod and we say goodbye to each other. Zachary and Otis leave, closing the door behind themselves gently. I plop down on the bed, staring at the canopy above. Only now do I realize how dead tired I am after the long journey. There's a knock on the door. When I call in for the person to enter, a maid with a bob of short brown hair comes in with a tray of steaming food. She puts the meal on the table, then turns to me with a polite smile. I get up from the bed and sit down at the table, looking at the hearty stew and crispy bread she served me. Not the kind of fancy food Count Elio loves so much, but I have to say I prefer it. At least here, I'll get to eat proper meals, unlike at Sophia's family's mansion. Thank you for the meal. Could you tell me your name? I'm Maya. The maid curtsies to me. Hello, Maya. Nice to meet you. I'll be serving you from now on as a personal maid, my lady. May I ask how your journey was? Quite tiring, if I'm to be honest. I think after the meal I'll have to retire to sleep. Is there anything you would require from me? Maybe a warm bath would help. Oh, a bath sounds wonderful. I'll draw one. Are you warm enough? Should I bring wood to light the fireplace? No, the temperature is okay. It's a bit chilly, but I walked quite a distance here in my winter clothes, so I'm fine with the temperature. I've never been a fan of excessive heat. The south was too warm for me, even if I'm inhabiting a southern lady's body. I am a fan of excessive heat. No, I prefer places that are warmer because my body cannot stand the winter. Okay, I'll go prepare your bath then. If there's anything more I can do to serve you, my lady, please don't hesitate to tell me. Of course. Maya leaves and my heart feels warmer from our conversation. So few people in my life have ever worried about my well-being. I know Maya is just doing her job, but still. Simply being asked if she can do anything to make me feel better gives me a nice feeling. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't mean nothing, you know. It's just like maids and all of it. They know that they need to do hospitality, you know. They know about that. They may not even like it, but they need to like put that smile and do that part of hospitality, you know. The maid seems professional but kind. I don't think I will have any complaints about her work ethic. We don't know yet, girl. Why you thinking like that? At least that's the first impression I have of her. Yeah, first impressions are that thing. Maya returns when I'm done with my meal and sets up the bath for me. Since the meal helped me feel more rested and recovered, I think about some questions I would like to ask her. What is life like in the castle for you? Can you tell me more about the duchy? Is the Duke respected by the people? Does the Duke like his sister? Those are all the questions I have. Okay. When you kind of have like these, usually you can ask all of them, right? I think so. Okay. So is the Duke respected by his people since like they are kind of like starving and all of it? So I kind of want to know. Is Duke Zachary respected by by the people? The Duke protects us from harm. Yes, the people respect the master. I feel like Maya wanted to say something more on the topic, but stopped herself. Maybe, sorry. Maybe one day I will gain her trust enough for her to tell me what she really thinks about the Duke. Yeah, this happens. Okay. What is life like in the castle for you? Do you enjoy your job? I mostly used to take care of doing the laundry and cleaning the corridors before I was assigned to you, my lady. I expect my workload to change from now on. I will still be helping others with their chores, but my main job from now on will be serving you. Do you like working for Duke Zachary? He's a good master. I have no complaints about my life at the castle. Maya seems cold with her answers. I suppose before I learn more about her true opinion of Zachary, I'll first have to gain her trust. Yes, I would totally expect that. So why are we making all of this conversation? Yeah, sure. That's how the game works. Can you tell me more about the duchy? The area around the castle is famous for its hot springs. We have hot springs in here, okay? There are also many hills nearby. The kids like to slide down them since we have snow almost year round. It's the go-to activity for the children. Oh my god, sad. Like having like winter all year round, kind of like, oh my god, and snow everywhere. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't like the winter that much, okay, because I get really cold. I'm also not the biggest fan of snow, and I think it's pretty to see it for a bit. When you have like months and months of snow, um, it starts being a bit too much in terms of like, how to put it, very monotone, like in terms of colors. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like it's a lot of white everywhere and every day of your life. So yeah, when you kind of like see it constantly, I think you start feeling like you want to see other colors, you know. The castle is the safest place in the duchy. You can wander into the nearby woods and hills without worrying that anything bad will happen to you. What kind of bad things can happen around here? As I said, no harm will come to you here. Yeah, to you, but other women, we never know. I feel like Maya is deflecting my questions. Probably. I mean, when people are not satisfied and there are hunger and all of it, there's a lot of there's always like an increase on the crime, and we don't know, but rape and stuff like that might happen, you know. Does the Duke like his sister? They are siblings. Maya states her words so matter-of-factly, as if the fact that Zachary and Bridget are brother and sister explains everything about their behavior towards each other. I know that, but it's not my place as a maid to speak about my master's relationship with his family members or even talk about politics like we were trying to get in here. That's why I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm following the script of the game, but in truth, in reality, it wouldn't actually make a lot of sense for you to be like, we would need at least like probably like a week dealing with this person to actually start making some questions in here. Okay, yeah, this is just too much soon. Maya sets this boundary between us firmly. I have to respect her for that. Yeah, those are all the questions we have. Not that I have, is that we have. Those are all the questions I have for now. Thank you for your answers, Maya. The bath is ready. I'll help you wash up, my lady. How is it ready? Did you order someone to bring the warm water or something? I don't know. Okay. While we were talking, maybe it was like that. Okay. I'm embarrassed about Maya helping me take a bath, but I don't feel like it would be proper to dismiss her when she just wants to do her job. I suffer through the embarrassment of having her help me. When she's done and I'm dressed in a nightgown, I jump into bed. Maya leaves me to rest. As I'm falling asleep, I think about Zachary's cold disposition and his mean remarks. Despite his unkind words, he never outright disrespected me, and I get the feeling he never will. He's too good a player of politics. Scary. Not wanting to host a proper marriage ceremony was the rudest comment he shared with Otis and I, but I'm not sure if he was serious about skipping the wedding in the first place. Did he suggest skipping it just to see how I would react to the comment? Was everything Otis and Zachary said to me a test to see how I would address them and my new situation? Anxiety makes my heartbeat quicken. I feel cold and hot at the same time. I can fall asleep, tossing and turning, worrying that I said the wrong thing today multiple times. Worrying how I will survive against the hostility of my husband and his advisor. It's dark when I finally drift off to sleep. Your only purpose in life is to be used as a pawn. You've been arranged to marry Duke Zachary Colville and serve me in getting a better position in life. Have you spent all the money you got from the crown on a fancy meal again? Don't worry, love. Sophia will spy on the Duke for us. Our life will take a huge turn for the better now. The only job you could do is a shop clerk or cleaner. You want to become a spy? You lack the subtlety to play politics in a world you don't know that much about anyway. You're going to fail. You're not good enough to get the Duke on your side to deceive him until he parts with his secrets. I might have welcomed you to the castle, but that doesn't really mean we want you here. Perhaps Maya and my sister may have been kind to you, but everyone else wants you gone. I will divorce you as soon as I can. I will find a reason to cast you aside. You're never going to gain my trust. Ah. Yeah, maybe Zachary married us to gain some favor from the south to, in terms of like also knowing its secrets. I mean, we don't know. It could be a thing like that. Like the south wants us to spy on the north, but the north might want to take from us some of its secrets too. We don't know if it's not a situation like that. I wake up with a start, sitting up in my bed. My heartbeat is erratic, my throat dry. I feel like the world around me is spinning. I can't breathe. I need to get out of here. I quickly wrap the shawl Maya left around my nightgown and step outside the room into the much colder hallway. The air is circulating more here, a small draft chilling me. I welcome the sensation. I take a few deep breaths, feeling the exhaustion from almost having a full-blown panic attack settling deep in my bones. It was just a nightmare, it's not real. And yet, deep down, I feel like the words that Sophia's parents, my parents, and Zachary threw at me in my dream were the truth. I'm not good enough to be a spy. I'm not going to gain Zachary's trust no matter what I do. No, I can't think that way. I need to find a solution. I want to get back to my world so I can finally lead the life that I've always wanted. So I can start my career. I worked so hard for that reality. I need to calm down. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find the way back to my room, but I don't care right now. I decide to go for a walk down the long corridors of the castle. I walk for a while until I stumble upon an ajar door. Light falls through the opening and voices can be heard from within. I stop walking, curiously getting the better of me, when I realize the people speaking are Zachary and his advisor, Otis. She's bound to be a spy. They are talking about me. Don't you think they picked the wrong person to spy on me? She seems like a normal girl, not a major threat. They must have thought to send someone we wouldn't suspect of being a spy from the start. And they certainly did a decent job of researching your preferences. This kind of sweet but dignified lady is just the type of woman you like. There might be more to her than we know right now. It's too early to judge if she'll be any good at spying on you. I doubt she'll come up with any sound plans. And the fact that I might find her attractive doesn't matter. She's going to be my wife in name only. I'll stay wary of her. I don't want to risk her getting close to me when she might be planning to steal the secrets of the duchy. We should limit Sophia's access to the information that flows through this castle. Of course, we're not going to give her any proper duchess work, like taking care of the household finances either. Duchesses in this setting are responsible for bookkeeping and making crucial financial decisions for the whole duchy. The point of delegating much of the management of the duchy and estate to the duchess would be to lighten the burden of those responsibilities on the Duke Lesser. He already has to manage internal and external affairs as well as the military, which means relief from making decisions about household affairs would be very welcome. There's only so much one person can handle after all, and, as I understand it, currently Duke Zachary is doing all the work himself right now, with the help from Otis as needed. It's much too dangerous. I agree. She'll be a duchess in name only. The words hurt. I have vast knowledge of finances, so the task of keeping books for the duchy and making monetary decisions is something I hope to do in the castle. The work would help fill my days and stimulate me mentally. Still, I understand why the two of them don't want me close to any confidential information. With how much the North is in debt, it's better an outsider doesn't touch the books. Otis has just confirmed the Dutchy poor financial status. I should look more into this matter. Perhaps I'll be able to find a solution for relieving at least some of their debt. It would be a way to gain the trust of the Duke and Otis at least. I should figure out if there's anyone I can ask about the debt or any other way to find the information I need. Deciding I have heard enough, I tiptoed away from the ajar door. I have found a potential way to progress my mission here. I'm still unsure of how to gain everybody's trust though, but I won't give up. I'll do my best to fulfill my duty. Okay, this is the demo, right? It was very interesting, I would say. And it wasn't very boring, at least for me, in terms of what I usually tell you, which is like lots of narration and then just some dialogues, just like the usual that you get. I felt that it was very well balanced, and I'm kind of like curious about this one, I would say. Yeah, it got me kind of like curious. It's just that I don't have a lot of information about it. Like, I don't know if this is going to be just us and our husband, or we are going to be able to date someone else, you know. But I don't actually know if this is I don't actually know if this is not like you know, there's another Otome game out there where you have like also like a prince or something, and you only end up with him too. So I don't know if it's kind of like that one. I don't know. So I mean, that's it. I hope you liked it, this little bit, and I'm always sorry for my bad pronunciation on certain words. And let me see. I am going to do a little thing, which is there is another one that I can bring you, and it's going to take us like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour. I think it's very short. I think it's very short. Let's hope it. But it's another one that I also wanted to show you, and I don't think I need to be talking on that one. So we'll just do that one and we finish for today, okay? So that's it. I hope you liked it. I'm going to leave the link in the description as always. This one is not out yet. You only have the demo, okay? And we are going to our next one. So see you in some minutes. Thank you.